Good day and welcome to today's episode of Erongo Talk here at the Swakopmund Go Karts. My name is Adolf Kaure and I'll be your host for today. Today is Respect Day, so do make sure that you put a little bit of effort into respecting the next human being. Today's interview will be a renowned poet by the name of Keamogetsi Molapong, who will be talking about his latest poem, which is divided into 50 parts, dedicated to the Namibian head of state and President, His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob. I'll also be bringing you the news, weather, as well as the tides. And since it's Friday, we'll also be having the latest events so that you can plan ahead for the week as well as the weekend. And our place of interest will also be part of the program, and we'll close off with a lovely song by renowned musician Shishani with a lovely song titled Lost. So we'll catch you with the news after the break. It is now time for the news, and in our first story, President Hage Geingob announced that the state of emergency will not be extended after it expired at midnight, that is yesterday evening. So the state of emergency was declared due to the COVID-19 pandemic and became effective on 17 March this year. This week, Cabinet held extensive deliberations to consider expiry of the COVID-19 state of emergency. So the president was quoted as saying, "We have observed positive outcomes from the response measures on public health, such as the declining rate of infection. However, our economy, income and job security have been adversely affected as we implemented these necessary measures. The virus is deadly. However, we are aware that poverty also kills." So that is the first story that you can also read on our website on www.erongo.com.na. And since it's Friday, we have more focus on entertainment, lifestyle, as well as art news. And our first art story is about South African-based wildlife artist Paul Dixon, who was selected as the winner of the Wild Beauty category at the 2020 Wildlife Artist of the Year competition for his outstanding work for his art piece titled Etosha. And the Wildlife Artist of the Year is often regarded as the Oscars of international wildlife art, and it is an international renowned art competition and exhibition of the David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation, which welcomes entries from hundreds of talented artists worldwide in a celebration of outstanding wildlife art each year. So really outstanding work by Paul Dixon, who also does display his work at the Fine Art Gallery here in Swakopmund. I've met him. He's a really bubbly character, very talented and very humble as well for someone who has such immense talent. So the owner of the Fine Art Gallery, Martina von Wenzel, congratulated Dixon on his achievement, as several of his solo exhibitions, as I've mentioned, have been hosted at the gallery. This is the most esteemed award for a lifestyle and for a wildlife artist, she said, and we are proud to be able to celebrate the work of this outstanding, talented artist, said von Wenzel. So you can also read up more on this one. For Dixon has won also many numerous awards, and he's also someone that is involved in many projects of giving back to the community and caring for projects like the Desert Lion Project and so on. So really outstanding work there by Paul Dixon. So in another story, art-related lifestyle as well as entertainment, The Voice and Perfect Namibia singing competition has reached episode 4 with only 30 participants remaining. So of these participants, 7 are from Swakopmund and Walvis Bay, and they are Nesto, Kali the vocalist, Azaria, JR, Keenan, Janine Manuel, as well as Kukuvi. So the coast really, really doing a great job representing us in this singing competition. So really kudos out there to the gifted singers who are doing us very proud. So episode 4 of the competition is dubbed as the in-house battles, and during this episode the participants are divided into 5 groups of 6 singers each, and each group is classified by a specific vocal key range from E major up to G major. So the judges for this competition include Monique English, Lioness, who's a doctor by profession known as Latoya Mumbola, as well as Chikune, better known, or let me say her government name is Colleen Leitner. So these are the different judges for this competition. The singers will battle it out against each other with fellow group members to reach episode 5 of the competition, which will only comprise 15 singers. So Ernesto, or better known as Nesto de Jesus, 17-year-old, said that he's very excited about reaching the top 30. He said that coming this far is a blessing combined with a feeling of gratitude as well as appreciation. I'm humbled. And as we all know, well, for those of you who do not know, Nesto is the son of well-known singer that is Stella Ngaruses. So it must be running in the blood when it comes to singing in that family. So in our final story, every year a week on the calendar is dedicated to celebrating Namibia's heritage. So this year's event will be held under the theme Ombalunji Tutumuna, which means building cultural resilience, the new normal in Oshieroro. So this is the Namibian Heritage Week, which is organized by several institutions as a collaborative effort, and it will take place from the 21st up to the 27th of September. So really wonderful initiative there by these organizations, which includes government institutions as well as individuals from all 14 regions of the country, and they are the ones who celebrate in this specific occasion. So several organizations from the regions are working together to present the 2020 edition, which is driven by the Museums Association of Namibia, MAN, and funded by the National Arts Council of Namibia. So these include the Scientific Society Swakopmund in collaboration with the Swakopmund municipality, as well as the COSDEV Arts and Crafts Center, the Directorate of National Heritage and Culture Programs, the Ministry of Education, as well as the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology. And for both those ministries, I'm talking about the regional offices. So the COSDEV Arts and Crafts Center's marketing coordinator, Jessica Lachransi, said that the event's focus is to reignite unity and solidarity within the community. And she said that we need to work together to create this new normal and involve small businesses so that more exposure is brought to us, all in a time where our target market is shifted from tourism to local market. So we must build resilience through working and supporting local people. So really a wonderful initiative for the Namibian Heritage Week, which is basically centered at uniting everyone in this very difficult time of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that was the news. Do stay tuned. In today's episode, we are joined by a very well-known and renowned poet from the land of the brave. But I will not say his name. He's going to introduce himself. So, sir, can you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your latest anthology as well as what inspired it?
My name is Keamogetsi Molapong and I write poetry. And my latest offering is called A Poem to the President, which is a collection of short poems, 50 in total, which is a poem, one long poem that is divided into 50 parts, and it is a dedication to the President. Basically, what inspired me is being a citizen of this country and having gone through the apartheid era into independence. The book is basically taking into consideration the 30 years that we had independence in Namibia. And through that, I'm just condensing all my experiences, my emotional experiences, my community experiences, the political realities in Namibia. I'm condensing it into a small book called A Poem to the President. Why? I'm just trying to have a direct conversation with the president with regard to how I see, how I experienced, and how I perceive things happening in the country. It forms part of my celebration of 30 years of independence, and therefore I found it quite useful as a poet, as a writer, to not necessarily celebrate with the national programs, with the regional programs, with family or community programs. Also, on a personal note, see how I can share my experiences with the rest of the country, with whoever is reading poetry and appreciating poetry. So that was basically what inspired me.
Wow, that is really, really interesting. And just to get the conversation moving even further, what is the poetry? What is the main aim of having this kind of poetry?
The writing is basically looking at how I, as a writer, I, as a citizen, I, as a community member, as a family member, respond to the social, economic realities in the country. I'm from a community, of course. Everyone's from a community, and I write from a perspective of my community. As such, my community is the one that I live in, the one that I see things happening, the one that is shaping and influencing me, but also the one I'm observing. I'm a writer, so I'm observing things happening in my community. I respond to them emotionally as a human being. We've got emotional attachment, we've got emotional response to situation, but also cognitive response to the social economic realities that is within our people. And sometimes as a poet, you criticize, you comment, you make social commentary on these things, but you also try to pave a way, try to add your voice to the continuous dialogue, national dialogue, regional dialogue that is taking place within the country.
Yes, indeed. Storytelling is such a crucial part of being a creative and being artistic. And yes, it has really been so awesome having you here on Erongo Talk, sharing your whole story about how you've written this anthology for the president in 50 parts. But before I let you go, what are your closing remarks?
For my closing remarks, I think literature and poetry and art in general has been the underdog of life. We have been perceived as either troublemakers if you are too loud, or you are just doing this thing for a hobby, trying to keep things together and everyone happy. But poetry and literature in general should be regarded as the voice, as the opinions, as the input from the people who are not really in parliament, who are not in the political circles, who are not necessarily regarded as leaders within the community, whether it's religious leaders, church leaders, financial leaders, and all of this, but people that have got a voice, an opinion, and an idea to share, a comment to make regarding certain social political issues, I think.
So that was Namibian poet Keamogetsi Molapong, who gave us his take on his latest anthology, broken down into 50 pieces and directed and dedicated to the Namibian head of state and president, Dr. Hage Geingob. So do stay tuned to Erongo Talk, our community, your news. Catch us on the flip side.
Away masakenis is die chef hierso. Jeffrey Job is ja. Ek geniet Erongo talk. Geniet dit saam met my away. Salute.
And as we do every Friday, we have our upcoming events on Erongo Talk, our community, your news. And in our first event, Rian Smith will be performing live at the in Swakopmund at the Desert Tavern. So that will take place tomorrow. That is Saturday, the 19th of September. And the concert will start at 6 p.m. And you can get your tickets directly from the Desert Tavern from Natasha Bachler-Stabler. And her number is 081 301 8429. So a minimum of 50 people are allowed to attend. Only 50 people, so not more than that. And as we mentioned in our news, the Voice Perfect Namibia has reached the top 30 artists, and these 30 will be battling out for a spot for the top 15, and the performance will take place live on the Voice Perfect Namibia YouTube channel. So that'll be taking place tomorrow, Saturday, 19th September, from 7:30 onwards. So you can check out the link for the YouTube page of Voice Perfect Namibia on our website as well. And in our last event, on the 24th of September, that is next week Thursday, the Sustainable Garden Workshop will take place at the COSDEF Arts and Crafts Center from 10 a.m. up to 12 p.m. And this is part of the Namibian Heritage Week, which is starting on Monday. So that was the upcoming events.
Hi, I'm Holger from Project Mothballs. Please stay tuned for the Erongo Talk.
And now for the weather and tides. So there was a high tide at 10 minutes to 4 o'clock in the morning, with a low tide also coming in at 9:45 in the morning today. So another high tide will be coming up at about 10 minutes past 4, with the last low tide for the day being at 10 minutes past 10 in the evening. And now for the weather conditions in Walvis Bay, there was the sunrise in Walvis Bay was at 5 minutes to 7, with the sunset forecasted to be at about 3 minutes to 7 this afternoon. So maximum temperature for today in Walvis Bay is 18 degrees Celsius, with a wind direction of westerly wind flow. So for Saturday, the minimum will be 11 and the maximum will be 19, while on Sunday the minimum will be 11 as well, with the maximum being 18 degrees Celsius. So for Swakopmund, they also have a westerly wind direction forecasted there, with a maximum temperature of 16 degrees for today, and tomorrow it will be 12 degrees Celsius for the minimum and the maximum of 16, with exactly the same kind of temperatures forecasted for Sunday. Henty's Bay also have a maximum of 16 degrees Celsius expected today, with a wind direction of southwesterly wind direction. And tomorrow, their minimum temperature will be 13 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 17 degrees Celsius. Sunday, they will expect a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 16 degrees. Arandes had a sunrise at 7 minutes to 7 this morning, with the sun setting expected to set at 5 minutes to 7 later in the afternoon. The wind direction forecasted there is a southerly wind flow with a maximum temperature of 28 degrees Celsius forecasted for today. So for tomorrow, they expect a minimum of 11 as well as a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, with Sunday 11 degrees minimum as well as a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius expected at that specific town. Uzakos expect a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius that side. Very, very warm conditions with a southeasterly wind flow, and maximum temperature for tomorrow will be 36 degrees Celsius once more, with a minimum of 10 degrees. With Sunday, Usakos expecting a maximum of 35 and a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius. Karibib. The sun rose in Karibib at 10 minutes to 7 this morning, and it is expected to set at about 8 minutes to 7 later in the afternoon. The maximum temperature expected in Karibib is 35 degrees Celsius with a wind direction coming from the south. Tomorrow, the minimum will be 13 with a maximum of 35, while on Sunday it will be 14 degrees Celsius with a maximum of also 35. Last but not the least, Omaruru expect a maximum temperature of 35 degrees Celsius with a southerly wind flow. With tomorrow, they expect a minimum of 14, maximum of 36, while Sunday projected temperature of minimum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius as well as a maximum of 36. So that was your tides and your weather. Do stay tuned for more.
Away masakenis is die chef hierso. Jeffrey Job is ja. Ek geniet Erongo talk. Geniet dit saam met my away. Salute.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk, and it has really been a pleasure having you in my company this Friday. So we do have other platforms as well where you can find us on social media. That is on Instagram, Twitter, as well as on Facebook. And on Facebook, over 65,000 followers. So if you use your common sense as a corporate, you might want to take advantage of that by contacting our relevant sales people for adverts and other opportunities. So our WhatsApp number is 0811 70040. That is 0811 7004040, where you can leave your news tips as well as your leka videos. And our website is www.erongo.com.na, where you can find our latest news and other information as well. So today, since it's Friday, we're gonna close it off with a leka video. But before I go to that video, I just want to caution everyone, even though the head of state has lifted the state of emergency, let us continue to use our common sense. Let us continue to wear our masks and sanitize regularly and keep a social distance of about 2 meters. So since it's now Friday, we're going to close off with a song by Shishani titled Lost. And do catch us again after the weekend on Monday for more Erongo Talk. So from me and the rest of the team, it has been a pleasure, like I said. Ciao.
I tell myself that it's okay to be lost in more than 1,000 ways. For the first time I can feel it. I'm living in the moment. I let go of my expectations. 'Cause now I know that everything changes, and all I really have is a moment and a feeling I believe in. I believe things go the way they're supposed to. I try to think I can't control anything, and all that I can do is embrace what passes through. Open up, give yourself away. Things will fall in place somehow, someday. Open up, give yourself away. Things will fall in place somehow, someday. Seen things come and seen them go. In the end, I guess it's about going through it all and taking something from it later. try to let go of my expectations. 'Cause now I know that everything changes, and all that I can do is embrace what passes through. Open up, give yourself away. Things will fall in place somehow, someday. Open up, give yourself away. Things will fall in place somehow, someday. Oh, just open up, give yourself away. Things will fall in place somehow, someday.